This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from downtown St. Louis, game number 2 of the 3-game series from Busch Stadium. It's the Baltimore Orioles and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to the broadcast booth with Brad Thompson. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us. Orioles are playing very well. The Cardinals in a 3-game skid right now and trying to snap out of it, and they'll do so with Miles Mikolas on the mound.
Well, he got the right guy on the mound, Miles Mikolas. But 2 pitches in specific have been really good. The sinker.
Spotted up, throwing lots of strikes with it. The opponent's only averaging 171. He can bring it back to the righties, front door to the lefties, and then the slider. Think about this as a hitter, okay? You're looking down the middle. You don't know which way it's going to go. As a righty, is it going to come in on you? Is it going to bust away? The slider has been great, and it has been thrown for strikes. That's the key.
And Mikolas, he's been great here at Busch Stadium. Lowest whip. First 40 home starts with the Cardinals. Big names on that list. Jack Flaherty, John Tudor, the Cardinals Hall of Famer. Miles in there, Bob Tewksbury, and also another Cardinals Hall of Famer in Chris Carpenter. They are the baby birds. Juan Yepez. Brendan Donovan, his first home run last night. A closer look at them coming up next on Bally Sports. The series against the Baltimore Orioles. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and the first pitch is coming up. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Our Kia player profile. And Brad, he's getting on base.
He gets on base a ton. The thing about Goldie is he doesn't expand his zone very often. He will take his walks. He will definitely drive a baseball if you give him something in the zone, but he is a threat every time he steps to the plate.
The high on base percentage. The 17-game stretch for Goldie. Miles Mikolas on the mound for St. Louis. The Orioles, the Cardinals, game 2 comes your way next. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Car Shield. Car Shield cars go farther. Warm, muggy night here in the Gateway City. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and the Orioles playing very good baseball, looking to win their 4th straight since September of 2020. It is 92 degrees here in St. Louis. Miles Mikolas is on the mound for the Cardinals, and along with Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and we are delighted that you have chosen us on this Wednesday night.
Well, on the flip side, it's time for the Cardinals to get rolling. They've dropped 3 in a row, and they've got the right guy on the mound here. Miles Mikolas, the numbers on the year. Sterling, 1.53 ERA. He has been so good. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Miles Mikolas. Mixes in the 4-seam and the sinker, throws his slider a lot. It is good. The slider and curve, the amount that he throws in the strike zone, better than most of the pitchers in all of baseball, and every once in a while you'll see the changeup.
There is Brandon Hyde, the manager of the Orioles. The first 20 games, they were 6-14, hitting just above 200, averaging 3 runs a game. The last 10, they're 7-3, average close to 300 and nearly 5 runs a game. So it is a different looking lineup and team than the one that they saw in the first 20 games. Cedric Mullins, he will lead it off, and then Trey Mancini, Anthony Santander, Austin Hayes, Rougned Odor, Jorge Mateo, Tyler Nevin, Robinson Chirinos, and Chris Owings. It's a big night for Mullins last night. He went 4 for 5, hit a 2-run homer and stole a base. And Ali Marmol, after the game last night, you know, he was pretty pointed in his comments about what's happening with his offense. He said, we have to have more competitive at-bats.
Oh, there's no question. And give credit where credit is due. Yesterday's starter, Kyle Bradish, did a very good job. But I don't think that he is as good as the Cardinals ended up making him look in that ball game. He punched out 11. Cardinals punched out 12. Yeah, more competitive at-bats will be a big key here.
There's Cedric Mullins. And That pitch taken inside, so his 5th home run last night and his 5th stolen base. One of 3 players in the big leagues with 4 hits, a home run, and 1 stolen base. Jazz Chisholm and Machado, the other 2, and that's yanked down the right field line and pulled foul.
That was a similar pitch to what he hit out yesterday. It was just down and in. There's a lot of room with Mullins inside, but go up.
I like a fastball up and in right here.
And the 1-2 pitch from Michaelis. Hit down the left field line and out of play. Mullins has hit in 9 of his last 10 games. He's really turned out to be a terrific player. 13-round pick out of Campbell University. Took a little bit in the minors to develop, but now coming into his own. And a ground ball that is fair. Race to the bag and out. Michaelis is there for the out. Almost caught the first base bag, and then when that happens, who knows where the ball's going to go.
This was close, and it was a good play on all sides. Even the first base umpire, DJ Rayburn, he got some cardio in on this one. It's a tough play. Really good feed by Goldie on this one, too. You have that strong underhand feed. You put too much loft on it, Mullins is going to be safe.
And for Michaelis, you know anything hit to the right side, with the speed of Mullins, you have to get to the bag, and he did that. Longest tenured Oriole is at the plate. Trey Mancini on base twice last night. And an RBI single, and was hit by a pitch. And the 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes as Michaelis is working with Yadier Molina again tonight.
A count right here that you very rarely see Miles Michaelis in.
2-1. He just fills up the strike zone.
Yeah, he works quick, throws a lot of strikes, and throws all of his pitches for strikes. I mean, that's a pretty dangerous combination.
And quickly now, 2-2. On a hot night, he's going to put the ball in play. You love this.
Well, as a hitter, you're sitting there 2-0. Say, all right, let me get a fastball up in the zone. Oh, slider for a strike, then big curveball.
Swing and a miss. Comes back to get him and strikes him out in his first strikeout tonight. Anthony Santander. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Yepes a start in left, his second career start in left field in the big leagues. Bader in center, Carlson is in right. Arenado, Donovan, Edman, Goldie on the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. It was a tough night in game 1 for Tyler O'Neill, so he sits tonight. Yepes has been hitting, and so Juan gets the start in left field.
Tyler O'Neill, for him, another work day, right? It's a process of getting back to where he needs to be. There are no real days off. I mean, there's sometimes where you want to get off your feet. You played a long stretch. There are other days where you really want to work on things and get your swing right, because that guy right there, he's pivotal to this offense.
Inside corner, 1-2. Santander had 3 hits last night, went 3 for 5 as the Orioles jumped out to a 5-0 lead. And then in the 9th, the Cardinals had the winning run at the plate, couldn't get it across. Ooh, Yachty thought he had strike 3.
Well, it was a good pitch. I like the idea, too. Santander, one of the best 2-strike hitters in baseball, specifically with off-speed breaking balls down in the zone. Really good there. I like elevating with the fastball.
And the 2-2. Hit out to left field and slicing foul and out of play. Well, the Cardinals trying to snap their 3-game losing skid. They have not dropped 4 in a row at any point in time this season. And they're playing in game number 30 tonight with a record of 16-13 at the start of play. The top 3 in the ball game last night, the lineup for the Orioles, they were on base 9 times. Cardinals could not figure out the top 3. Packy Naughton made that start. The bullpen, for the 10th time this year, had to cover 5 or more innings.
But not exactly how you draw it up. You know you're going to have a little bit of that, especially when you have Jordan Hicks in your rotation, who you're easing into more action.
That is yanked foul. Shades of Mike Laga almost as that left the ballpark. Very close. Hit it all the way into the upper deck.
I got a feeling no one up there was expecting a super tonight.
Especially from a left-handed bat, turning on it like that. Don't see it very often.
But they have a plan right here against Santander. They're working him in big time. Not letting him just shoot something out the other way, drop the head. Now, though, I think that you have the ability, you have opened up some pitches on the outer half if you want to go that way.
It's another 2-2. And he struck him out on the outside corner. Good call, partner. 2 strikeouts for Miles Michaelis. And coming up for St. Louis, at the top of the lineup, Tommy Edman, the slugger Paul Goldschmidt, and an MVP candidate in Nolan Arenado. Bottom of the first coming up. In Cardinals history, where they struck out 12 times, did not receive a walk in a home game. It doesn't happen very often. Tommy Edman at the top, then Goldie, Arenado, Juan Yepez already batting cleanup. He's made his presence felt. Dylan Carlson, Molina, Bader, Dickerson, and Brendan Donovan. And so the Cardinals will face Spencer Watkins.
Spencer Watkins here making his 16th career start, his 6th start of the season. The Hyundai pitch arsenal here, you notice, doesn't throw as much of the fastball. A lot of the cutter, curveball as well, has a changeup. You get a lot of breaking balls here from Watkins.
Former 30th round pick in 2014 by the Tigers. Spent years down in the farm system. Never made it to the big leagues with Detroit. Released right before the 2020 season. And he pretty much had given up on the idea of making it to the major leagues. Oh, what a play here. Backhanded by Mancini and robbing Tommy Edman. Terrific play. Trey Mancini.
There's a lot that ends up going into this play. First thing, it's a hard hit ball. Has to get it on the one hop. Watkins does a good job of getting there, and the strong throw with the speedy Tommy Edman.
Well, that's a great play.
That is. Talk about a nice boost for a pitcher who thinks off the bat it's a single.
Well, Watkins was offered a job as a high school coach once he was released. High school baseball in the Phoenix area. He was going to accept it, and it looked like his career was done until the Orioles called him up. They signed him to a minor league deal, and he made 10 starts last year. Up and into Goldie, 1 ball and 1 strike.
If somebody is willing to give you a jersey, take it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way that I always looked at it. If somebody's willing to have you around, you never know what might end up happening for you. I like stories like that.
And the 1-1. So Goldschmidt had a base hit last night, was 1 for 4. Trying to make it 18 consecutive games on base. The leader in MLB is JD Martinez, 28 straight coming into play tonight. Off the end of the bat, a little squibber foul. Brad Thompson's Toyota key to the game.
It's early and often, Dan. That's how the Cardinals need to score. Early and often. Early, they've been really good. One of the best teams in baseball in the first inning. 24 runs in the first. By the way, Watkins, he struggled in the first. Has an ERA north of 7.
And the 2-2 fouled back.
Get something going early, Dan, and just continue to pile on. We've seen this offense do it. Just here recently, it's been a little slow.
Speaking of early start tomorrow, 12:15 with the first pitch. And a strikeout of Goldschmidt, and there's 2 away. Orioles defensively with Mancini at first base, Tyler Nevin, Phil Son, he's in left, Austin Hayes in center. Santander is in right. Around the horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Owings, Mateo, Odor, Mancini along the infield, and Robinson Chirinos is the catcher tonight. Here's Nolan Arenado. 0 for his last 11, 6 for his last 31. And the first pitch taken low. Nolan has been very good in first innings. 8 for 19, 3 home runs. And the 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nolan has been hitless the last 2 games. Hasn't gone hitless in 3 straight all season. And the 1-1 pitch. 1-2. Seeing the Cardinals just take a lot of fastballs.
Yeah, right there. It was 2 breaking balls for Watkins, and that was just the playing chess right there. Watkins snuck a fastball right by him.
And he strikes out. So 1-2-3 go the Cardinals. And after an inning of play, there's no score. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. 4, 5, and 6 here in inning number 2 for Baltimore. It'll be Hayes, Odor, and Mateo. Hayes was 0 for 5 last night, and that snapped his 6-game hitting streak. But his last 12 games, he's hitting well above 400.
Yeah, if I had to pick somebody yesterday to go 0 for 5 in the lineup, it certainly wasn't going to be Austin Hayes. He's been really good, specifically against right-handers. Coming into action today, hitting .354 against right-handed pitching.
Ouch. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Have you noticed Michaelis kind of flipping up that Adam Wainwright 68, 70 mile an hour curveball here and there?
Has no problem stealing strikes with it, and then he can also bury it. And to me, that's what makes Miles Michaelis as good as he is his ability to utilize his breaking balls in different ways. He can throw them for strike, he can throw them for chase, he can throw them in any count. As a hitter, that's a lot for you to be thinking about.
And the Cardinals with a shift on the left side of the infield. And it's chopped off the plate and foul. And it's 1-2. Miles comes in 3rd best in ERA at 1.53. Pablo Lopez of Miami.
Seen
him.
him.
An even 1. Merrill Kelly, we've seen him. He's at 1-2-2. And then Miles Michaelis.
Can confirm the first 2 guys very good.
Yes. And that's hit out of play. So Miles has allowed 2 runs or fewer in all 6 starts this season. And only 3 runs allowed in his last 25 innings. And that's an ERA barely above 1 in his last 4 outings.
He's been good.
The 1-2. And another foul ball.
It sets him up really well right now. 1-2. You can get Hayes to chase under the zone. Good slider or curveball, whichever one he wants, but under the zone, specifically away. If you can spot it there, you'll get him to swing over it.
And for Miles, it's the first time facing the Orioles since his major league debut in July of 2014. And at that time, he was a member of the Rangers.
Totally different pitcher now.
Absolutely. In the air, shallow right field. Coming on, it's Dylan Carlson. And he can't come up with it. Drops foul. And it's 1-2. I'm not sure that Dylan got a real good beat on that initially. Clearly calling for it. Comes up just shy of making the catch.
Yeah, it was close. It was going to be a very good play if he were to make it. Had to travel a long way to get there.
It was back in 2018 that Michaelis was an all-star. And if you look at what he did that year through his first handful starts to this year, he's actually been better in just about every category this season than his first in St. Louis. The 1-2 pulled foul. The hanging breaking ball.
You're going to want to get that thing down to Hayes for sure.
He's got 3 home runs and he has driven in 12.
Well, going back to Michaelis, I think most didn't know exactly what to expect out of him coming back this year. We'd seen him for 9 starts in the last 2 seasons combined. You knew how good he was, but you wondered what he could be. Well, this is what he can be when he's healthy.
And the 1-2 up the middle. Edman to his right to make the play. 4 up and 4 down for Michaelis. I will say this, though. Baltimore has made him work. It's already 27 pitches to get the 4 outs.
Especially on a hot day like this, hot, humid, it ends up taking it out of you. It will be something to keep an eye on here moving forward. How many early outs can Miles Michaelis get?
Odor 10 for his last 39. But of those 10 hits, 6 have gone for extra bases. 4 doubles, triple, and a home run. On the year, batting .203. And the first pitch is a strike.
Big shift against Odor. Pulls the ball to the right side. There's actually only one hitter in baseball right now pulling more to the right side. It's Jason Hayward.
So when you think of Odor and his career, and he's been around for a while, what comes to mind for you?
Well, it's absolutely, it's punching Joey Bautista in the face.
Jose Bautista, yeah.
Joey Bats.
That's right. Hit on the ground right side. And he got his money's worth, too, with that,
sure did. Look,
that right hook.
Somebody, that's how you want to get him. Not condoning the violence, okay, Dan, but it's just what I remember. You asked me a question, it was Joey Bats taking one.
For sure.
Number 3, shortstop Jorge Mateo.
And I think that if you were being honest, which I know you are, at least 62.7% of the time, you actually enjoyed that.
No, I was full on condoning it.
Yeah, let's just be honest
level.
here.
Yeah. I want to say that for legal.
Hit to the right side, backhanded by Goldie. Michaelis to the bag. Beats Mateo, who has 9 stolen bases, by the way, this year. Midway through 2, and there's no score. Places pitching in to make a difference in our community. Tonight we salute local nonprofit Homeworks. Since 2004, Homeworks has strengthened the bond between school and home through its unique programming. And Homeworks is a family engagement organization that partners with under-resourced schools. So thank you to Homeworks for pitching in for our community. Good stuff. Juan Yepez to lead it off. So he has hit safely in his first 6 games in the big leagues. He's had 24 plate appearances and reached base in 12 of the 24.
I'm not good at math, Dan, but that's like a 500 OBP.
That's pretty good. 10 for 22. 3 doubles, a home run. He was on base twice last night, had a base hit to center, and also was hit by a pitch. And you may see that more and more as we progress here. The off-speed pitch, breaking balls, because he is hammering the fastball.
Yeah, he is. It does not take long, especially nowadays, for the opposition to realize, okay, well, this guy can hurt us. Gone are the days where maybe you didn't know a guy, and you say, well, I'm going to challenge him. Forget that.
And the 2-0 pitch.
That's a great example of what you're talking about right there. 2-0, young guy comes up in the league, says, here you go. I'm going to get back in the count. I'm going to throw you a fastball. See if you can hit it. Not Spencer Watkins. He said, it's hammer time. See if you can stay back on this.
See if he gets it again on the 2-1. He does, and Yepez drives it out to deep left. It's at the wall. Gone! Juan Yepez, his first home run at Busch Stadium. And with that, one swing, 1-0, St. Louis. Pretty quick adjustment, pitch to pitch.
We just talked about it, right? 2-0 count, he gets the breaking ball. Normally in Memphis, he's saying, I get a heater here. Okay, that's how you're going to pitch me? You're going to throw the same thing again? Curveball down in the zone, stays back and hammers this thing. That is beautiful.
412 feet, 103.7 miles per hour off the bat. And a fastball upstairs and swung on and missed by Dylan Carlson. 1-0 Cardinals thanks to Yepez making his presence felt here early on.
That's the kind of rip you want to see. You see something, you saw that out of the hand, let it go. I want to see bad intentions from these hitters. especially early in counts. Go for it, and in hitters' counts.
Carlson beat the shift last night with a base hit late the other way. The 0-2. Similar swing to what he did last night. Just kind of punching it the other way.
Well, now it's protect time. Shorten that swing up a little bit. See if you can shoot it that way. They're so hot. Got to cool down.
Big time. The 0-2. And that is taken high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Takes it the other way again. And Carlson thinking 2. Racing to second. And standing up with a double. Beautiful piece of hitting, Dylan Carlson. Teams are going to have to start playing him straight up if he starts to do that.
It's exactly what you're talking about right here. This is a slider on the outer half. You are given a gift right here by Spencer Watkins. You got a wide open left side, and he tries to backdoor that pitch. It's exactly what you should do to it, but you got to be able to stay back, allow the barrel to get there, and he does. Albert's asking Juan, hey, how do you do that, man? I mean, that's awesome. Or something. The conversation is something. I don't know if it's exactly Albert asking him for advice, but it could be. Albert will take advice from anywhere.
Juan is 679 home runs away.
There. Baby steps, right? You got to crawl before you walk.
That's right. Those two, though, have been talking a bunch. And on the recent road trip, Brad, we saw Albert Pujols during BP pulling him aside, showing him various things that he's seeing. And Yepes has just been a sponge in that regard. And the 0-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. Loved the reaction of Yadi twice this year. One on a stolen base, smiling halfway to second. And then last night, looking behind him and Harrison Bader racing right after him.
How much fun is Yadi having this year?
I think all these guys are. Waino, Yadi, Albert. More relaxed.
Can't wait to get Waino back, by the way.
Dylan is in a rundown now. Back to the bag at second, but they get him. And it brings in Harrison Bader. Last night, sprint speed from home back to home on the inside the park home run. 29.1 feet per second. Initially out of the box. Thought it was gone. And then he's off to the races.
Yadi with the peek over the shoulder. Is he close? He feels close. That was an electric moment right there.
You felt that it all of a sudden energized the crowd.
Oh, it did. Ultimately fell short, but needed that moment last night.
And here is Harrison Bader. Yadi's sprint speed. 21.7 seconds is average sprint speed. And Bader, 29.1. Just a little bit of a difference.
It's pretty quick. Well, Yadi knew he had time on that. He wasn't trying
That's
to go
right.
crazy. If Yadi wanted to go 29 point, what'd you say it was? 7?
For
Bader?
Bader, it's 29.1.
Yeah, if he wanted to go 29.1, you know he could, but at his, we'll call it veteran age.
It was a hot night, too.
It was a hot night.
You got to pace
yourself. There's a lot of baseball left in.
That's right.
He score easy.
Just sweating and hot. And yeah, I'm with you.
He needed oxygen after.
He did. Here's the 1-1 as Bader hits it to center. Austin Hayes is there. By the way, we had Kenny Chesney here at a big concert over the weekend, and Bill Finley and the crew had to get this ballpark ready, and the playing surface in particular in the outfield. The stage is basically where Austin Hayes, the center fielder, his position right now, and they've done a remarkable job to make sure that this field is ready to go.
It's beautiful. So I was working across the street doing pre and post game over the weekend, and they were early in the morning here working tirelessly throughout the day. Bill Finley, the entire grounds crew, worked so hard to make this happen. It is a phenomenal job. Thousands of people out there on that grass, a stage, and it looks like this.
And then you get the hot weather coming through, which at Busch Stadium too, they used to burn out portions of the outfield grass, so they've done a very nice job to get this ready. And here is Corey Dickerson. He is your DH tonight. Short lead at first by Yachty. Mancini playing in front of him. There's not been a lot of playing time for Corey Dickerson. And it's tough to get hot and stay in a lineup if you're not playing every night.
It really is. It's one of those catch-22s. You know you have to do something special to be in there night in, night out. But if you're not getting the reps, I don't know how you do it.
Hit the other way, and that's a base hit. Past Owings. Down into the corner. And Yachty to third. Diving in head first. And he's in there safely.
I don't know if we got the StatCast on that, but chances are 29.1-ish would be in the area. We're just talking about Dickerson. How do you stay in the lineup? Well, you do stuff like that. You shoot the ball the other way. You keep the wheels moving here for the Cardinals. We're talking about a key to
This game, score early, score often, continue to put on pressure. This is another slider up in the zone. Again, don't have the StatCast numbers in front of me, but chances are, I mean, that's really high with Yachty going.
I'll let you say that. You're his former teammate.
He was flying.
Here's Brendan Donovan, who picked up his first ever Major League home run last night in the 9th inning. And the rundown with Carlson between second and third now looms large in this inning. And the comebacker to Spencer Watkins. Donovan is 2 for 14 with a home run against right-handed pitching. Another started shortstop tonight. So 2 outs and 2 on. And the first pitch drops in for a strike. It was the 4th home run that Watkins has allowed. 3 of the 4 have been solo shots. Stingy with runners in scoring position. Opposition 167 the average. And it's 0-2. Bases empty. They hit .310. And men on only 186. So seems to bear down with runners on.
And really surprising to see him sneak the fastball by, because this is where he really goes to his off speed, is with runners in scoring position.
And there it is, and Donovan hits it into the gap in right center. All the way to the wall. 2 runs will score. And Donovan stops at second base with a 2-out double that scores a pair. And the Cardinals add to their lead here in the home half of the second. 3-0 St. Louis.
Go ahead, Brendan Donovan. 2 strikes on him. Gets himself the breaking ball. This time it's up in the zone. And he crushes this out into the gap. You can tell right there he's trying to bury it. Leaves it up. Good compact swing by Donovan. And off to the races.
And that was an 0-2 mistake made by Spencer Watkins. So Brendan Donovan drives his 3rd in this series. And here is Tommy Edman, robbed by Mancini first time up. That pitch is strike. Key to the game was early and often, and that's what we're seeing here in the 2nd inning.
Doesn't it change the vibe in the ballpark too? Put some offense together, string hits together. You got the big home run by Juan Yepez, have a few doubles in the inning.
And that is hit out to center. Hayes back. The sinking liner is caught. The Cardinals with 4 hits in the inning. All 4 extra base hits, started by Juan Yepez, his first home run. Cardinals on top. out the T-Mobile coverage cam here at Busch Stadium. Juan Yepez, first home run here in St. Louis, his second this year. And he does it right in front of the principal owner of the St. Louis Cardinals, former bat boy of the St. Louis Browns, Bill DeWitt. And Mr. DeWitt, along with many of what they call the Brownies, will be in attendance tomorrow. Hundreds of tickets sold to the fan group that's led by Ed Wheatley, and they're going to be in attendance tomorrow celebrating the St. Louis Browns, which moved to Baltimore in 1954. I just think that their history in this game is just incredible, to consider that Bill DeWitt Jr.'s father owned the team. He's a bat boy, and now it carries on here in 2022.
Well, remember that, kids. First of all, bat boy, gateway job, you could be an owner. I mean, that is first thing. And number two is that, no, you're absolutely right. The history of the Browns, and we spend tons of time talking about the history of the Cardinals, but it's special. A lot of special baseball. And they were a big draw, especially in their first couple of decades here in St. Louis. I think a lot of people have heard the stories and know the time of the Bill Veeck years. Eddie Goodell, someone's jersey, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. That would be his, which was passed along to family members for Halloween, literally. As we play here in this third inning, it's Tyler Nevins. So they had the Eddie Goodell jersey, and I've talked to both Mr. DeWitt about this and his son, Bill DeWitt III, but the jersey was found in like some family member's closet, and they used to pass it around for Halloween because it would fit for a kid. And so they would dress up in a Browns uniform. The check swing, and he did go. It's a strikeout from Michaelis. That is number 3. What's interesting, and you hit a very valid point, is that 1926, Browns owner was anticipating a Browns World Series. So he created a bigger capacity at Sportsman's Park from 18,000 to 30,000. Philip Ball, the owner, was right. There was a World Series, and that year it was the Cardinals. They upset the Yankees, and up until that time, St. Louis really was a Browns town. And then you had the All St. Louis World Series as well, the Trolley Series, 1944, and that was the only American League pennant that the Browns would win. And that is fouled back. In 1944, it's a remarkable time in our country's history because of war, and that definitely had a direct effect on baseball. Many of the players were those that were ineligible for military service in World War II, so they were able to find a place playing baseball. But you're exactly right. Not many people would realize that the Browns were very popular, but till 26, it was kind of their town, and then they were the lovable losers, if you will.
Well, it should be a fun day at the ballpark celebrating that history tomorrow. Been a fun day at the ballpark watching Miles Michaelis go at it too.
Here's Chirinos, and he puts it on the ground, hit to short. Brendan Donovan up with it and makes the play. I think one of the amazing things, and there's such great baseball history here, Brad, but when the All-Star game was in St. Louis in 2009, and Ichiro was at the height of his career, he broke the single-season hits record of George Sisler, who was one of the great all-time Browns players. And when he came through St. Louis, he went with his family and visited the gravesite to pay his respects to George Sisler, who's buried here in St. Louis. Pretty amazing.
George Sisler, the only Browns player in Cooperstown, is that correct?
I think there's others, but they would not be considered like going in with the Browns caps.
Gotcha.
To your point, yes. There's an 0-1 pitch to Owings, and a breaking ball that is high. He scored twice last night in the game. And the 1-1 off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike. Hasn't happened in a while, but the Cardinals get 4 extra base hits in the inning. That hasn't happened since August 27th of last season against Pittsburgh. And a ground ball hit to third baseman Nolan Arenado. Good start for Miles Michaelis. It's 9 up, 9 down. 6 ground ball outs, 3 strikeouts to the statue of George Sisler. 30 on Valley Sports Midwest. That's the pregame, and then the Blues have a chance to wrap up their series with the Wild right down the street. That's at 8, Valley Sports Midwest. So both streaming on the Valley Sports app. Good luck to the Blues. Let's wrap it up tomorrow, huh?
Why go to a game 7 if you don't have to, Dan?
That's what I'm saying.
Wait for the next series and go whoop on the Avalanche.
Let's just worry about tomorrow first.
Yeah, no, good call. Good call. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Here's the 1-0 to Paul Goldschmidt, and a fastball and a strike.
I wonder if we might see this a little bit more from Spencer Watkins. So he gave up 4 hits, as you mentioned, the 4 extra base hits in the second inning. All of them were on breaking balls. I wonder if you see him throw his fastball more.
And the Cardinals here recently have had a propensity just to let that fastball inside the zone go.
Well, with this guy specifically, and it was a little frustrating last night seeing it, Spencer Watkins came into action today throwing his fastball under 35% of the time. So really, I mean, if you're looking for that pitch, chances are you might not get it. You still like to be able to react to a fastball that's in the zone or be ready for a fastball.
And Goldie now has reached base 18 consecutive games with that walk. And the first walk issued by Spencer Watkins. All right, you ready, Brad?
Yeah.
Nolan is due. I'm not sure it's going to be a home run. Okay, I don't know if I want to go out that far on a limb.
What are you doing? If you're going to do it,
just let me finish.
Go ahead, Dan.
So, something is going to be hit loud and hard, and it might wind up over the wall, but this is bat right here. So you got to go on a limb here, Brad. I've tried to tell you that every once in a while.
I feel like your limb is the size of a tree trunk, though. I mean, this guy drives balls.
I'm just saying, it's going to be loud.
What section is it going to end in?
I'm going Orioles bullpen.
I like that. Now we're talking.
Okay.
Had to get you.
Why not? Now I'm going out on a limb.
I don't think you are.
You might be right. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. So we saw last inning he'd fall behind and then go with the breaking ball. Does he dare do that here with Nolan Arenado, who's hitting .367 with men on?
Well, you could be ready for the fastball, react to that slower curveball if he tries to throw it in the zone.
And the 2-0. Got underneath it. I don't think it has a chance to leave. Nope, it doesn't. Foul territory, and it's caught by Owings.
Sometimes you got to take a shot, Dan.
Yeah. I'm done. All right, StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Now this one, this is what I meant, Brad. This one right here.
Oh, now I'm sure that was the plan last time out as well.
Look where it landed.
You talk about an adjustment. You mentioned it was a 2-0 pitch. Watkins threw it in, threw the big breaking ball for strike 1. Tried to go back to the well, and that's what happened. Drove it off the signage out there above the bullpen. This guy, he is not acting like he just got up to the big leagues. Love the approach.
1 out and a runner at first. That's Goldie. I like the quick hands. I don't think we saw that. What we're seeing now, obviously in spring training, but he's trusting his hands. So, for instance, with 2 strikes, he's spread out. You don't see a higher leg kick, putting a premium on putting the ball in play.
Just has a good idea of his swing and what he's doing. He's been hitting at every level for a long time.
So 1 out, runner at first, and a fastball and a strike. The watchful eye of that guy right there, Albert Pujols.
I love how intently Albert watches games. He's not in there messing around. He'll have some fun with the guys when the time is right, but he is watching and studying everything.
And the 0-1 pitch to Juan Yepez. Good pitch, and it's 0-2.
I think Watkins said, I don't think I'm going to throw him that slow breaking ball again. I might want to stick with the fastball and the harder cutter. See Albert right there telling him, hey, get everything going forward. Don't pull off.
And the 0-2 pitch to Yepez. Goldie at first. Upstairs. It's been fun to watch. So now he is hit safely in 7 consecutive games to begin his major league career. The longest hitting streak to start a Cardinal career, 2017, Magneuris Sierra, 9. As Yepez, those quick hands, pulls it foul.
I'm not sure if you'd have given me 20 guesses, I'd have come up with Magneuris Sierra.
I would have thought he was close. I remember the series that he put together in Miami, and he was flying all over the place with his great speed. But 9 games? No. Maybe 5 or 6. Now, if you would have told me Homer Smoot from 1902, I would have said absolutely.
Yeah, I would have done that too. Smooty was top of mind.
He had an 8-gamer, and then Bo Hart, Terry Pendleton, and Enos Slaughter, and now Juan Yepez all have hit 7 straight.
Bo Hart would have been guess number 1 for me.
That was incredible. Juan with 2 strikes is 4 for 11. Now time called. Home plate umpire tonight is James Hoy. He is the crew chief. DJ Rayburn at first. Jeremy Riggs at second. Angel Hernandez is at third.
It's a veteran move right there by Juan Yepez. Step out. Make sure everything's happening on your time.
The 1-2.
Spoil good pitches.
So again, you see the base that is spread out for Yepez with 2 strikes. And the 1-2. Yanked foul. Well, Albert knows a thing or two about making an initial impression. Your first handful of games in the big leagues. And the 1-2 pitch to Juan Yepez. And a fly ball. Shallow right field. Slicing and fouls. Trey Mancini, the first baseman, gave chase.
Dan, how well do you remember that? Albert, his first at-bat is his rookie season.
I had no idea that it was going to turn out like this. I do remember, though, after like the first couple of weeks, I believe that season we started on the road. It was Arizona, Colorado. We had heard so much about this young guy. It was just incredible. I think it was 34 home runs that rookie season. And he didn't stop.
Well, you knew something was going to be up when they gave him the number 5.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Yepez hits a high fly ball out to left. Nevin under it to make the catch. I mean, to think that he gets drafted and then he's the MVP of postseason for Memphis in that run to really legitimize it and put him on the map. And people know the story by now with Albert, but Bobby Bonilla gets hurt and Big Mac and others went to Tony and said, we have to go north with this guy. He's that good.
Sometimes a player ends up forcing your hand, and you love to see that. The veteran guys on the team saying, we have to have that. That guy better be there if we want to make a run at something.
The intensity is what I remember. And the fact that there was no time his rookie season, I felt like, well, here's the 2 weeks. They figured him out. He's overmatched. It was the other way around. It's incredible.
Just an all-star, 4th in the MVP, Rookie of the Year, Silver Slugger, 37 homers and 130 driven in. No big deal.
37, that's what it was. Yep. That was the Cardinal rookie record. We were looking the other day. He's got 3 MVPs, finished second 4 times. So 7 times he's either been 1 or 2. And there's probably 2 I can think of for sure I feel that he should have won. You're talking about 5 MVPs potentially. And the 1-0 pitch
Carlson lifts it in the air out to center. And backing up, it's Hayes to make the catch. Cardinals strand a runner, their second of the night. Fun to have him back. Albert Pujols.
To you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And brought to you by Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. Cedric Mullins, Trey Mancini, and Anthony Santander as we move to the fourth inning. Beautiful night here at Busch. Warm, muggy night. And for some young fans, a treat to sing the national anthem. And I think you knew one of those young kids.
Yeah, one of those kids was wearing a Thompson jersey today.
Where'd he get that?
That was my kid.
Oh,
there he is right there. The sweaty one in the front. Look at him go.
it's nice to see that he's got a little son to him.
Yeah, well, a little bit. Yeah, he takes after his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moy Elementary School getting it done today. That was fun to watch. I was like proud dad watching him sing.
And he's got a birthday tomorrow.
Yes, he does.
Happy
Turning
birthday.
9 years old. Thank you.
That's awesome. A base hit into right off the bat of Mullins. You were telling me, and we talk about this every night, but he loves the game of baseball.
He's into it. He's into it. I've told you before, his favorite player is asking him, hey, you want me to get you another Thompson jersey? They seem to be sold out at the team store, so we're going to have to order it. And he's like, yeah, that would be okay. What about a Tommy Edman jersey? Do you think maybe I could get one of those? I'm like, yeah, buddy, we can get you a Tommy Edman.
Did that hurt you at all? Or?
A little, but I like Tommy a lot. So,
okay.
You know,
that's a good guy to have.
Little man loves playing second base. So
okay.
We'll tell you, yeah, but he's into it. He's been watching the game. He's been studying. I tell him, like I tell other kids, if you want to see how to do this game and how to play it the right way, watch the best at it. Watch these games. Not everything is perfect, okay? I get it. It's like, oh, home run, strikeouts. Watch these defenders. Watch how they run. Watch how they get reads on hits in the outfield. See their mannerisms. Like, that's how you end up getting better at this game. You got to play it, but you got to watch it too.
There's an 0-1 pitch to Mancini. Have you taught him now the two-seamer?
But we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
We're still doing machine pitch right now.
All right.
We are doing some a little pitching in the house. Now, we've broken a couple of items. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's funny, the things I get mad about, but nothing that has to do with baseball.
Understood.
You break anything playing baseball, you're fine.
No problems there.
Messing around with something else, and you break something in the house, you're going to have to answer to Dad.
What about if he broke a pencil doing his homework?
You got problems. You're going to have to buy your own pencils.
But glove needs to be restrung, maybe a new bat, no problem.
If you break somebody's window hitting a home run, good for you, buddy.
I love it.
I'm proud of you. You got into that.
I love it.
I'll go apologize.
You'll take the wrath of your neighbor, and that's okay.
It's fine. Got good neighbors.
Well, it's hard not to pull for this guy at the plate. Trey Mancini. What a story he is. He has beaten and survived stage 3 colon cancer. The chopper that's hit to short. Donovan goes to first. It's amazing. He showed up, Mancini did, for spring training a couple of years ago. And as you know, Brad, being a former player, I mean, you have your physical and blood work done and whatnot. Said he wasn't feeling great, didn't think much of it. And they tested his blood, and he had low iron levels. And diagnosed 2 weeks before his 28th birthday, stage 3 colon cancer, immediately went into surgery and went in the same day that sports were shut down due to COVID. And he beats it. He's cancer free. He's the AL Comeback Player of the Year. And you may remember that he competed in the Home Run Derby, and he finished second in the Home Run Derby last year. And he said, I'm doing that because I'm here to show anybody that has beaten cancer or is fighting cancer, you can and will make it. And I want to be an inspiration.
I love that so much. And again, an easy guy to root for.
Absolutely. He said, man, I'm 27 years old and colon cancer for a young kid. I'm a pro athlete.
what is going on here? And immediately went into surgery and found a way.
Yeah, well,
it's amazing.
The reminder there is to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
Feeling a little off, or just annual physicals if you can.
That was the other point that he wanted to make, is that he knew his story would be told at the Home Run Derby, and it was to get awareness out there to that exact point, to go get checked. Major League Baseball has done a lot for prostate cancer research. You hear us say it all the time on Father's Day: keep dad in the game, get checked. And Mancini is the longest tenured Oriole. This is the second longest. Santander. And he hammers it. Deep rights, backing up with room. And the catch made by Carlson. And while we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Chipping in on a surprise birthday gift that everyone will love, especially at 4:30 in the morning? When the big day arrives, you can send money fast with the Great Southern mobile app.
There's Austin Hayes, grounded out to second, first time up.
This is the 80th career start for Michaelis. The Cardinals 50-29 when he's on the bump.
That's the guy you want to play behind right there. Strike thrower, works quick, goes right after the opposition. You know, as a defender, you stay on your toes, tons of weak contact.
Hayes 6th in the American League with 34 hits, 9th in the batting title, trying to run for that, and he's at .312 with the average. If you're around 300 now, this day and age of baseball, you're swinging the bat pretty well.
Second of change. We're going to get back to seeing guys hit for average.
What do you think? The ball's got to change a little bit, doesn't it?
The ball's going to have to change.
Grounded left side, backhanded. Arenado slings it to first. The pick by Goldie. Oh, what a play. One Gold Glover to the other. And that saves a run for St. Louis and Michaelis. Flat-footed, leaning back towards left field. What a play. Theme ticket. Take home their very own Fans Will Friends mug, so don't miss your opportunity for a photo on the iconic Central Perk couch. For information or to purchase tickets, visit cardinals.com/theme. That's Central Perk, P-E-R-K.
It's the real Central Perk couch?
I don't know if it's the real one.
It says authentic.
It does. Could be. You're right. We'll find out. Here's Molina. Grounded into a fielder's choice and then came around to score on the double by Brendan Donovan, and that's fouled back by Yachty. So he is tied now with Mike Piazza. 6th all-time in hits by a primary catcher. 2,127. He is 1 run batted in shy of Ken Boyer on the Cardinals' all-time RBI list. Needs 1 home run to move past Ted Simmons and be all alone. 9th place on the franchise list in home runs. And he waves at that pitch and strikes out. Watkins, his 3rd strikeout tonight. And the batter will be Harrison Bader. Cardinals wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon, and then the Giants will be here, first of 3 on Friday night. Giants have been essentially the only road team to recognize Yachty and Albert, as they did that. I think it was the 3rd inning, Brad, on Sunday, and they put them up on the video board and said the Giants would like to congratulate those two on a wonderful run in Major League Baseball. As Bader hits it the other way. My guess is that when you go to that final time in the Central Division, Chicago, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, that you could expect more of, just the recognition of those two.
Oh, I would assume they absolutely will. Really like seeing this from Harrison Bader. Got that hole on the right side, pitches away, hit it away. No, I'm with you, and rightfully so. I mean, these guys have been terrorizing the Central for a long time. I mean, Albert, you thought the nightmare was gone. He comes right back.
Yeah.
So you get an opportunity to have a farewell. I know that there have been a lot of tough times in the division for these other teams with those guys coming through, but you respect that.
There's Dickerson. He doubled off the glove of Owings. Was at third base. Cardinals back in the second inning got a home run by Juan Yepez, and then with 2 down, back-to-back doubles, Dickerson and Donovan. We'll see if Bader wants to do a little running. Up 3-0. He's got 7 stolen bases this year. And the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
A healthy rip right there by Dickerson. Talked about it earlier. If you're Corey Dickerson, how do you get more at-bats? It's tough. The reps just haven't been there. How do you continue to succeed? Well, you just got to take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you. Did that in his first at-bat.
And the 1-1 pitch to Dickerson instead of check on Bader. Doesn't get dirty, and that was close.
Might want to next time, just in case.
On the season, Robinson Chirinos is 5 for 9 catching base stealers. In his career, just 24%. And the 1-1. And a high fly ball. Down into the right field corner. Drifting back to make the catch. Santander, and tagging up its Bader from first to second. Two outs, and the batter will be Brendan Donovan, who has driven in 3 in this series. Be interesting what the Cardinals do, knowing that Sosa is coming back, and Donovan, his second consecutive start at short, hasn't played a lot of shortstop. It's been other places around the diamond, but well, I'll tell you what, you hit, you produce, you stay.
That's it. That is the key right here. Donovan knows he's got a little runway in a couple of games, trying to take advantage.
And looks at a pitch high.
That's exactly what the Cardinals want. They want competition at the spot. They want somebody to take it and run with it. They gave Paul DeYoung as much rope as they could, tried to get him right. He worked hard trying to get himself right. It just wasn't happening. So he gets optioned down to Memphis. He gets the reset. Kramer Robertson made his major league debut last night. He and Juan Yepez, teammates in Memphis, they're talking it over. I mean, you want it to be a tough decision because you got too many good players to play shortstop. That's what you want.
And the 1-1 pitch instead of check on Bader. I think following that point you're making is that you want guys that are going up there with a sense of urgency as well. You know, 9th inning, we saw it last night. Innings 1 through 8, not so much. And the 1-1 pitch. Count of 2-1. Room on the left side as they try to keep Bader close. Out of play. Ollie was saying about Brendan Donovan the other day to us. He said, well, you've heard the term gym rat. He said, this guy is a baseball rat. He said, I'd be shocked if he plays 9 innings and you don't see dirt all over the uniform. He's that kind of player. Gamer is how he said it.
Give me a team full of those.
You got it. The 2-2 pitch. At shortstop, you take a look at what he's done in the minor leagues. You know, Brad, it's only like 86, 87 innings. The minor leagues playing short. Now doing it here at the big league level. Third base was the place that he played the most at. And then it was second and left field. Also played right and first base. The 2-2 and a full count.
Well, they're not looking for Brendan Donovan to be Ozzie Smith overnight. Make the routine play. They're going to try to put you in the best position to succeed with all the defensive shifting. You just make the routine play. That guy can make all the crazy plays and covers basically the entire right side of the infield.
Yeah. 3-2 pitch. Spoiled by Donovan again. You're seeing these young guys grind through these at bats. That's what you want.
They're saying, you guys don't know how good you have it here.
The accommodations are pretty nice. Good at bat there by Donovan. And so he draws a 2-out walk. Top of the lineup at Tommy Edman. 2022, the 40th anniversary of the Cardinals' 1982 World Championship team. Friday, May 13th. 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a white 1982 inspired performance hat, courtesy of Quick Trip. Cardinals.com/promotions. It's walk number 2 from Spencer Watkins. So runners at first and second, Tommy Edman. So Tommy goes 1 for 4 last night. He struck out 3 times. He's only struck out 18 times this year, to go along with the 14 walks. And tonight he has been robbed by Mancini at first base and then lined out to deep center. He's had 2 very good at bats.
He has. Just a weird game, as you mentioned off the top yesterday. All of the strikeouts with a team that really does not strike out a ton, did not draw a walk. I just want to take that one, throw it away, get right back into it. That's been the case today. This would be another one right here. It's a backbreaker. 2 outs, get that RBI hit.
2 of the 3 runs have been scored with 2 outs by the Cardinals. Edman will add to it. Base hit into left. Here comes Bader. Throw to the plate is offline. Tommy Edman drives in the 4th run for St. Louis. And he, along with Donovan, advanced to second and third on the throw by Tyler Nevin. And it's 4-0 Cardinals.
The throw by Nevin was definitely wide. It was high, but it's the pitcher, Spencer Watkins, who didn't do his job. He didn't get deep enough back there to back that up. You have to be the last line of defense. Make sure that doesn't get behind you. He doesn't. And you got 2 guys able to move up on it. Good job right here by Tommy Edman. Change up away, shoots it away. We're seeing a lot of that in the ball game today. Cardinals just going with pitches, not trying to pull everything. And now it is Goldschmidt 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. 4-0 Cardinals. And if you had a chance to visit with Ollie right now, he would say one of the key at bats in this game, Brendan Donovan, to draw that walk, roll the lineup over and give Edman a shot. Very good at bat.
Yes, it was. As you mentioned, these young guys putting together some good ones.
That's up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. So be pitch number 75 coming up from Spencer Watkins with 2 outs, 2 on, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here in the home half of the 4th. And Goldie sends it out to deep left center. And it's off the top of the wall. 2 runs will score. Goldschmidt to second base. The Cardinals lead it 6-0, and 5 of the 6 runs have scored with 2 outs.
Making it hurt. Going back to just a minute ago, Dan, you talked about Donovan turning it over to the top of the lineup. Tommy gets 1 big hit, drives in 1. Goldie finds himself a hanging slider that I'm not sure you could place any better. This thing is perfect, belt high, and misses getting out of the yard by maybe a foot, if that.
Wow. It's closer than I thought. Just a rope into left center.
Might have to check that wall later. Whew.
And here is Arenado. Fouled back in a good cut.
That's the swing you want to see right there from Nolan. He wants to join this hit parade.
Inning started with a strikeout of Molina. Bader base hit to right. Dickerson fly to deep right field. Donovan the walk. Edman the single. And Goldie now the double moments ago. The 0-1. 0-2. Goldschmidt, his first run batted in since May 2nd against Kansas City, and that was the home run off of Zach Greinke. Here's an 0-2 pitch.
Well, it's a good idea right there by Watkins getting in on Nolan Arenado with the fastball because there is room in there. Now, earlier in this game, he would take that pitch and then go away with his breaking ball. But I don't know. I mean, at this point, pitch count is getting up, probably getting a little tired. If he tries to do that, he might be in trouble.
The 0-2. Hit down the left field line, but foul. The breaking ball.
That did hang up a little bit. Nolan just couldn't keep it fair.
It is like having an extra coach in that dugout, isn't it?
Yes. Well, and you know that Albert, while he might not be writing stuff down currently, he is filing it in that Rolodex he's got in that brain of his. And after this game or tomorrow, he's going to have conversations with all these guys.
Spoiled by Nolan Arenado. The lefty Paul Fry getting loose. There are 4 left-handers in the bullpen for Baltimore. When you have a big lead, sometimes you try to get bench guys in, win right, and the lefty matchup for Albert would make some sense. He hasn't swung the bat in a handful of games now.
Yeah.
And the 0-2 pitch. Arenado sends it into right center, and that ball is down. Goldschmidt will score. Nolan smelling 2. Head first slide. Safe at second. 7-0 St. Louis.
Another double for the Cardinals. That is their 5th of the ball game. They're driving everything that ends up being in the strike zone. We've seen some good at-bats, spoiling some tough pitches, waiting for Watkins to end up coming to them so they could drive their pitch. And Nolan does it again. And another hit the other way.
And that'll be it for Spencer Watkins. Cardinals put up a 7 spot against him. And they're still going here in the home half of the 4th. Juan Yepez coming up when we come back. 4 straight outings since allowing a season high 4 runs against the Yankees back on April 28th. Pitched last against Kansas City as they took 2 of 3 against the Royals, and now he's into the ball game to face Juan Yepez, who is 1 for 2 with a home run. Everybody has a hit with the exception of Yadier Molina, but he has scored a run. So everybody getting in the act.
That's exactly what you needed. The offense was stagnant. You mentioned earlier, Dan, Ollie Marmol not happy with the at-bats that the team put together. Just wasn't competitive yesterday. That's very competitive today. We talked about the key to the game. Score early, score often. We're seeing it so far in this ballgame.
Yepez has homered tonight, his 2nd. Also flied out to left. Nolan Arenado at second base, and Juan hits it up the middle. Odor is there, steps and throws. Big night so far for the offense with 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 of the 7 coming with 2 outs. at Busch Stadium Tuesday, May 31st. And the purchase of a special theme ticket, you receive a racing-inspired Tommy Edman bobblehead, plus a free ticket to both the NASCAR Truck Series qualifying and the NASCAR Cup Series practice, Friday, June 3rd. And that's at cardinals.com/theme. Cardinals, 6 of the 7, scored with 2 outs. Goldie, Donovan, both with a pair of 2-out RBIs. Arenado has one, Edman as well. And it's 7-0. Depending on how this game turns out, and right now Cardinals look to be in pretty good shape, still a long ways to go. This is Odor. You may see a major league debut tonight, and that would be Jake Walsh, who was just called up. Cody Whitley was sent to Memphis. You know, typically managers love to get guys in right away. Just get it over. Good, bad, and different, but just get that one under your belt.
It is nice instead of having to sit on it for a while, be nervous about it.
And the 1-1 swung on and missed, and it's 1-2.
I know for my debut, I actually did sit for a while, but Tony got the juices running quick. It was a tie ball game, the first game that I was here for, and he got me going in the bullpen. Told me to get hot. He knew he wasn't bringing me in that game.
Odor with a fly ball into right field, and Carlson will make the catch.
And probably a good thing too, because I might have hit a few fans with errant pitches in the bullpen. I was a little amped up, and things weren't going exactly where they should go. Maybe he saw that. Maybe he was thinking about it. So you know what? I'm gonna give the kid another day.
You think Marty Mason called Tony and said, "Hey, Tony, we've been doing this a long time together. Don't bring that guy in.
You trust me, right?" Not today.
Here's Mateo. I love seeing the big league debuts. I've talked about it a lot. I mean, it's just such a special moment for so many people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the key. It is for the player.
There's a base hit into center for Mateo.
But as you're saying, Dan, there are just so many different people that have had an impact and somehow, some way connected to each player that ends up making that debut. It's a celebration for everybody.
Brendan Donovan found me and said, "Dan, thanks for the call on my first hit." And I said, "You're the one that did all the work." He said, "Yeah, but that was cool." And I said, "Well, yeah, it's pretty neat." I said, "I try not to mess those up. I mess a lot of things up, but the first strikeout or hit, home run, because it's gonna play for these guys
forever."
Yeah, and even in your era, not every game was on TV, and so your kids and their kids, and for your mom and dad, everybody sees it. It lives on forever. So it's a great moment.
Yeah, no pressure later in the game if it does happen for Jake Walsh, but you got a big job. That is a big job you got.
I can't believe you'd say that, because you know the guys can hear us down there. You're talking about me.
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with you.
Sure. I thought you were going to Jake Walsh.
Jake's going to be fine. You just go out there and do what you're doing in
Okay.
Memphis. You're going to mow these guys down too.
All right.
He's fine.
I'm mentally prepared.
You're right, though. It ends up being a soundtrack of your life. You know?
Yeah.
Major League debut, you get a chance to hear that.
That's the one thing about 2020 is that obviously none of the players had mom or dad or girlfriend, their wife, their friends. Nobody was here. And that's lifted into center. And we saw so many on social media. Strong throw back in by Bader, but where the parents were actually being taping what they were getting off the TV, and somebody else was in their party taping mom and dad.
We saw that with the Carlson family.
Yeah, it's great. Trying to think, who was the pitcher, Brad, that he came up, and I do believe the Cardinals were in Chicago against the White Sox. It was after the shutdown, when the team was shut down, and his dad was watching it, and it might have been Puerto Rico or the Dominican, but on his computer, and he's bawling, just bawling, watching his son make that major league debut.
That was too cool.
And I can't quite remember. We had so many debuts in 2020. Two outs and a runner at first. Robinson Chirinos grounded out to short first time up. And the 0-1. Shallow center. Bader racing and sliding, and it goes by him. The throw to the plate is cut off, and a run will score. The speed of Mateo, who has 9 stolen bases, very tough to get him, and with 2 outs he was off with the crack of the bat, and he scores the first run for the Orioles.
This ball right here just ends up in no man's land. Harrison Bader playing fairly deep, but Tommy's under it, or getting under it, and Harrison comes in, ends up looks to call him off.
Looks like at the last moment he just pulled off to make sure that there was no injury.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't want anybody to get hurt on a play like that. You do need to have the communication. It's going to be a tough play either way.
So that'll go down as a double and a run batted in. And here is Chris Owings, who grounded out to third his first time up. That's fouled back, and now a 7-1 Cardinal lead. One ball and 1 strike. Owings 1 for his last 11, and that 1 hit was a double. And the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Everybody's smiling, and that ball that got away and picked up, and Yachty having a little fun with Chris Owings. The time is called, and it's a count of 2 balls and 1 strike. Not sure Yachty's trying to get the attention of the bat boys sitting there. Well, regardless, here we go. 2-1 the count with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Off the end of the bat, hit up the first base line. Miles to first, and the out. 2-out double for Chirinos. Hey, who's that guy? I got a kid hiding back there. Hicks going tomorrow. Last time out May 6th against San Francisco. 68 pitches, went 4 1/3 as he struck out 5, and they slowly continue to build him up this year.
He's getting there. That 4 1/3, the 68 pitches, both career highs for Jordan Hicks, and the goal is to keep him healthy. Keep him healthy. You keep him on a routine. He's going to continue to grow. We saw him working in some more changeups
too the last couple of times out. We've seen him mainly sinker, slider, but looking forward to watching him go to work tomorrow.
So Hicks goes in the day game tomorrow, and now it is Dylan Carlson, who is 1 for 2. A double inside the third baseline, back at the second, and flied out to center. I think it was Jesus Cruz was the pitcher I was thinking of, which his father was balling. There was also Roel Ramirez, and his dad may have been crying for a different reason.
Wasn't exactly the debut that he was looking for. It happens. It happens. Got to bounce back. Got to get more opportunities. You know how it is, Dan.
Was it 3 or 4 home runs consecutive that he gave up?
It was a few.
Dylan puts it on the ground to Owings.
Quick word from St. Louis Children's.
St. Louis Children's Hospital, the only place where Washington University physicians have gathered from across the globe, discovering and developing life-changing treatments for kids.
Are you friends with the Ramirez family?
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, but I got a soft spot for pitchers that have bad days.
I get it.
Been there, done that. I've given up 11 runs in one inning before, Dan.
Did you?
Yeah, that's right. They left me out there for 11 runs in one inning.
So you had to take it, huh?
Yeah, it was the back end of a doubleheader. Oof. This was in the final days, really, of
was
my
it
career.
the final day?
Well, no, it wasn't the final
Okay.
day. But I did imagine myself after the 10th run scored of just taking off my jersey and leaving. But didn't quite do that. Playing for the Somerset Patriots in the Atlantic League. And first of all, I have a lot of respect for the Atlantic League. Got a lot of good players that are out there. And boy, the Bridgeport Bluefish were tough that day.
Were they?
Oh, they got me in the first inning. But I ended up getting
future Hall of Famers I heard on that team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they're gone now, the Bluefish, but
Yeah.
they were.
Everybody's talked about it. I mean, like 27 Yankees and is it the Bluefish?
Yeah, Bridgeport Bluefish.
Yeah, the Bluefish. One fish, two fish, Bridgeport Bluefish. Really?
Yeah. It was 4 home runs, Dan.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, I know it does. It was Yoan Moncada, Yasmani Grandal, Jose Abreu, and Eloy Jimenez.
For Ramirez.
For Roel Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for me.
Okay. They weren't at
They weren't-
Bridgeport.
No, those 4 were not playing in Bridgeport in 2013.
Got it. That's a tough outing. To his left, Mateo.
But as I say, Roel Ramirez threw a lot more pitches than I ever did in the big leagues.
That's a fact. That is a
you
fact.
made it.
Hey, you're gonna have good days. You're gonna have bad days.
That's right. It was a tough one.
Yeah, I mean it's not how you draw it up.
No.
Making your debut.
Pretty
you're
good
feeling
lineup though that he's facing there.
Man, what a weird trip that was too, because that was the trip where everybody drove their own rental cars to Chicago, right? So like nothing normal about a debut.
And Waino, the team hadn't played in a couple of weeks, I guess. Waino's playing long toss with a neighbor or something, or throwing it into a net, and then he gives you 5 in game 1 and he wins the game.
That's what Waino does.
Yeah. So 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Bader, who lined out to center, singled to right and scored a run back in the 4th, and the Cardinals lead it 7-1 here in the home half of the 5th. You've heard me say this a million times. You tell me who the worst player is that you think is playing in Major League Baseball, and I'll show you an incredible baseball player.
Oh, it's true. It is true. Even to get the opportunity to play professional baseball at any level, you are one of the best to ever play the game.
And certainly if you get to this level, it's exclusive.
We've talked about it many times, but the amount of major league players they've been, you're not going to fill the lower bowl here at Busch Stadium in the history of the game.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
That's why maybe you see Jake Walsh. Maybe you get an at bat for Kramer Robertson tonight, depending on how this is going.
Keep piling on. Not that you needed to get Jake Walsh in a game, because I think that he's got the stuff. For those that haven't seen Jake Walsh, one of the comps that we've talked about with him is really Trevor Rosenthal. Compact delivery, throws really hard, has good feel for a slider and a changeup.
Good pitch in on the hands of Bader. So he tosses the bat and a strikeout. 6th inning coming up.
Presented by authority of the Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. The 6th inning rolls in, and Michaelis and the Cardinals have a lead of 7-1. Miles has allowed 3 hits, no walks. He has struck out 3. Cedric Mullins is 1 for 2 tonight. Top of the lineup for the Orioles. Think about the shortstop position now with DeYoung sent back to Memphis. It's been various players that have been playing shortstop for Memphis. It's not like there's one ready to come up. Kramer Robertson, who was called up, was primarily at third. Evan Mendoza, we've heard a lot about him over the years. He's been playing a lot of short. And tonight it is Brendan Donovan here at the major league level. There's Kramer. Pinch runner last night. Three and one.
Well, that's the thing we were talking about earlier. There's a legit opportunity at the big league level. Who's going to take the job? And for Paul DeYoung, it's an opportunity to get yourself right because they want you to take the job. Come right back.
And a rare walk for Michaelis issued here, and he's closing in on 80 pitches. The Funko Pop.
Ozzie Smith, thanks to Coca-Cola and Schnucks, coming up. Cardinals.com/promotions. Funko Pop on Sunday. It was a rare 3-ball count that turned into a walk for Miles Michaelis. And that is hit out of play by Trey Mancini. 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and grounded out to short.
Well, luckily, Miles Michaelis has the ability to get that double play pretty quickly. Erase that walk.
And the 0-1 pitch. And there's your double play. 4-6. 3 on the double play, right on cue. First double play turned by St. Louis tonight.
Exactly how you want to draw it up. You don't want to walk a speedy guy. Never want to have that guy on base. But when you have that ground ball pitch in your back pocket, you feel a little bit better about it.
Anthony Santander is struck out looking and fly to right. This has been an outstanding Rule 5 pickup for the Orioles. He's out of Venezuela. And he always does his interviews in English. So if he's on camera, he has the interpreter next to him just in case he misrepresents something. Doesn't want to do that. But he has learned English, and he said 5 years ago I knew just a couple of catchphrases, but he is very, very bright. So now he's bilingual. No matter how good the game has gone, good, bad, and different, reads a book every night. So he's reading something every night to go to bed. And his first love was basketball, but then mom and dad, others around where he grew up in Venezuela, thought he needs to play baseball. Good athlete. And here he is in the big leagues and picks up a base hit. He's 6'2". Loved hoops. He said, I never really watched Major League Baseball. Didn't have a favorite player because we didn't have it down there. So I got involved in the game by just starting to play towards his teenage years, and really nice piece of hitting there to bring the hands in and hit it the other way, inside out it. And here he is in the big leagues.
I think he made a good decision.
I'd say so.
And nice work, family, guiding him in this direction. Another 2-strike hit, too, for Santander, who one of the best in baseball with 2 strikes. Fought that one off. Good pitch by Miles Michaelis, but this guy is making a living of spoiling good pitches.
That's his 4th hit in the series. And now Austin Hayes was robbed by Arenado back in the 4th, and he is 0 for 2 tonight. How did you communicate with the guys in the bullpen that maybe didn't know English and you don't know Spanish?
Baseball's got its own language.
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, everybody ends up understanding a little bit of everything, and you mash it together and you make it work.
Michaelis flips it to first for the out, and the Orioles have stranded 3 tonight, midway through 6 in game 2, and it's 7-1. 9 down to start. It was either on the ground or a strikeout. Then Juan Yepes, a home run. His first here at Busch Stadium to start play in the bottom of the second. And since then, the Cardinals, 6 of their 7 runs coming with 2 outs. That almost left the ballpark. That brought in Tommy Edman. It is added up to a 7-1 lead as we move to the home half of the 6th. And a new pitcher is in, Logan Allen. So this is what we're talking about earlier. Chevy called to the pen. They've got 4 lefties in their bullpen, and that means Albert Pujols. Albert has now played in 2,987 games. And the first pitch. So with 2,987 games, he's tied Barry Bonds 10th all-time in Major League history in games played.
Seems like something every night when this guy gets in the box. Same thing with Yadier Molina. Every time he does something, it's another milestone. I just love the ovation when Albert gets up to the plate.
Here's a 1-0. Pujols against left-handed pitching, primarily signed to do that, is 7 for 16, a double, 2 home runs. Pujols sitting on 681 home runs. The 1-1. Taken high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Can you imagine what this is going to be like in August and September here in St. Louis? Now the student studying. The 2-1. Fans into it anytime he steps to the plate here at Busch Stadium. The 2-2 pitch.
You remember every time Albert comes to bat at Busch Stadium that for many of the people in attendance, it's the first time they've seen him in over a decade.
How about your son? Has he seen him play in person?
Oh, this is his first time getting a chance to see Albert here.
The 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat and foul. 3rd all-time in runs batted in. 5th in home runs. 5th in doubles. 4th in extra base hits and total bases.
It's a weird time to be taking a selfie, Dan.
It's actually turned around for Albert, but good point. The 2-2. The 3-2 pitch to Albert Pujols. Fouled back. Young and old taking this one in. The 3-2 pitch to Albert Pujols. Hit up the middle. Off the glove of the pitcher and knocked him down as Allen is on his backside. And that'll go 1-4-3 on the putout.
like that changeup coming back at a pitcher sometimes, isn't it, with a comebacker?
It's a bad feeling sometimes. Sometimes it feels like it's hit even harder. You stab at it. And then there are the other ones that are rockets, and it's like your life flashes before your eyes. You see a white-hot flash.
Boy. Well, the lefties have hit Allen to the tune of 5 for 10. Donovan has been on base twice. So he picked up a double and drove in 2 on an 0-2 pitch in the second with 2 outs. And then an extended at bat. Fouled a bunch of pitches off to walk and extend that inning to Tommy Edman. The 1-1. And Tommy picked up a base hit. Then back-to-back doubles by Goldie and Arenado. And Watkins was out of this game after 3 2/3. First time this year the Cardinals have had a ball game with 6 or more extra base hits. The 2-1. 3-1.
Dan, this is, and I know it's a different lineup certainly with Donovan in there. Dickerson started this game. Albert just came in for him. This is what this lineup should be able to do. I mean, night in, night out. When you look at the cast of characters that are there, they should be able to put up crooked numbers.
The 3-1 pitch to Brendan Donovan, and that's up and in. He's on base for the 3rd time. A couple of walks. While we have a moment, quick word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less. For a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
So the 1-out walk following the ground out by Pujols, and now Tommy Edman. Tommy is 1 for 3 tonight. Now 1 for 4. Donovan advancing to second base. And here's Paul Goldschmidt on base twice tonight to extend his on base streak to 18 games.
The 2 RBI double he had in the 4th missed. What do you think, Dan? 4 inches or so from a home run?
Maybe so. I'll say this, not a lot of launch angle with that. That would have been a line drive that turned into a homer. And there's strike 1. Nothing in 2. Logan Allen, the 3rd pitcher used by Brandon Hyde, the manager of the Orioles tonight. The 0-2 pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. Hit up the middle, and again the Cardinals will come through with 2 outs as Donovan will score, and it comes on an 0-2 mistake from Allen. Goldie is driven in 3 tonight.
I'm not even sure how much of a mistake it was by Allen or just how good of a piece of hitting this was. It was down and in. I guess trying to bury it back foot even a little bit more. But Goldie just being able to get enough bat to it to serve it right into center field. Just relentless at bats with 2 outs.
So Donovan has driven in 2 and scored 2. He's been on base 3 times, and now it's Nolan Arenado. And he had a 2-out double that brought in a run back in the 4th. That's taken high. 8-1 St. Louis. Arenado now is driven in 25 on the year. Couple of hops hit to third and a force play at second. 2 out RBI. Paul Goldschmidt, 8-1 St. Louis. The BJC Healthcare difference maker tonight, the starter, and that's Miles Mikolas.
Miles Mikolas in control yet again. 6 so far. He's got 11 outs on the ground. Really working it with his breaking balls in the strike zone. He's getting a little chase also. Not a bunch of punch outs in this game. Only 3. You don't need to when you get contact like that. Get outs a little bit quicker in the ball game. He's looked good. We highlighted a couple of pitches before this game. The sinker and the slider. He's actually thrown the slider more than the sinker in this one. And the reason is it is effective. A lot of those weak contacts, a lot of those little tappers have been off of the slider. He's looked great.
And Mikolas pitching into the 7th inning. He's allowed 4 hits. Odor, Mateo, and Nevin. Odor has grounded out to second and flied out to right.
I think some might have a thought. You got Miles Mikolas out here. He's cruising, but you have a decent lead. It's hot outside. Do you pull him back?
Yanni near the screen, and it's out of play.
But you think about the day yesterday. First of all, he's on an extra day's rest. You had a bullpen day yesterday, and you have Jordan Hicks tomorrow. So you're still trying to piece together all of your innings. He continues to look strong, so you let him go out here for the 7th.
Try to get one more from him and then turn it over to the pen.
That's it.
Also, to follow that point, bullpen had to cover 5+ innings last night, so that's something to think about too. 0-2 the count on Odor. When they have to do that, 5 or more innings, Cardinals are 4-6. In 19 games in which they're under 5, they're 12-7. Makes some sense. Starters are giving you some length.
And the 0-2 pitch. Had him out in front, popped up. Shallow center. And there is Bader for the out. Mateo claimed off of waivers last August from San Diego. Began his pro career with the Yankees and their organization, Oakland, Padres, and now here with Baltimore. He's 1 for 2 tonight. One out and nobody on. Tyler Nevin is on deck. Hit the other way, but foul. Did you have a chance to see the no-hitter last night in Los Angeles?
Yeah. Reed Detmers. Those are always fun to watch. Yeah, I find myself getting nervous watching those ball games.
I was getting nervous watching that. How about Anthony Rendon, though, with a position player coming in, a natural right-handed hitter. He decides to hit from the left side and hits a home run.
First ever at bat in the big leagues left-handed, you know, because he's right-handed and all. And it didn't look like it. That didn't look like an awkward swing. And I think that the pitch was 56 miles an hour from Phillips. It's incredible.
Reed Detmers is only 22. There have been 4 rookies who are left-handed to have thrown a no-hitter, 22 or younger. The last to do it was Bud Smith when he did that against the Padres. And here it is last night. Detmers trying to make history. And the ground ball that was hit to short, and history was made. In that no-hitter, by the way, from Bud Smith, Phil Nevin was batting cleanup that day for the Padres. And now here's his son, Tyler Nevin, and they're the only father-son combination to have homered at this ballpark for Stadium 3.
Oh, really? Good little nugget right there.
Remember doing that game on radio with Mike Shannon, and the Padres had Ricky Henderson, Ryan Klesko, the former Cardinal Ray Lankford was in that lineup. I distinctly remember late in the game, and Bruce Bochy had told us that he's really hurt, but he can swing the bat, Tony Gwynn, and he hit a rocket, and I think it was right to short. And that's when you knew Bud Smith is going to get this no-hitter.
Well, we were just talking about being nervous as just a baseball fan for Reed Detmers or whoever. And Verlander took a no-hitter deep last night as well. What was that like for you on the broadcast? I was nervous. I bet.
Well, we were speculating whether or not they would take him out because his pitch count was getting so high, and at that time, he was so highly thought of. Hit to the right side, and the out, so Michaelis is through 7, but Bud Smith got the no-hitter in a night and a moment. He and us, we will never forget it. It's with StubHub, and even use the free seller toolkit to help manage the price of your tickets. StubHub, you can sell your tickets in just a few taps without any stress. Download the StubHub app today. And the new pitcher in is Travis Lakins Sr. Chevy called to the pen. Hasn't pitched since the 1st of May. Just a final thought on young man Tyler Nevin, who homered for the first time last night. But his dad, you may remember, and Tyler in left field tonight. But Phil was the #1 overall pick in the country in 1992. He was a really good player. Derek Jeter in that draft was 6th overall. And I always find it interesting when you go back and look at those drafts to see who emerged, who did not. Cardinals took a pitcher out of Arizona State by the name of Sean Lowe. They had the 15th pick in that draft. But there were 5 players selected in front of Derek Jeter. You just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That is the crapshoot of the draft.
I think that we've gotten better and better now with all of the information that is out there and all of the scouting and all of the video, that it's a little bit closer. You know, you think you know what you're getting in the first round.
Yeah.
But you also have surprises.
And by no means am I taking anything away from Phil Nevin. He was a heck of a player.
And there's a strike, 2-1. Yepez has homered tonight. Got the scoring started for St. Louis. And there is Jake Walsh getting set for his major league debut. As Yepez pops it up right side and out of play. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Okay, so you're Jake Walsh out there.
What's happening right now for him? What is Brian Eversgerd, the bullpen coach, telling him? And what are those guys? What have they been telling him since he arrived on the scene?
Well, the biggest thing is your emotions are flying right now. The heart rate is up.
Little flare into right and a 2-hit night for Juan Yepez.
That's all he does. All he does is hit. They're probably pointing at Juan Yepez right now. See what he's doing? Just do the pitching equivalent of what he's doing. Just come here and do the exact same thing. Because that is what Brian Eversgerd, the bullpen coach, is talking to him about. Is saying, hey, what you did to get here is all you need to do to stay here. Again, right there, Yepez spreads out. Just fight something off into right field. But that's one of the biggest things to remember as a young player is you don't have to do more when you get to the big league level. You don't have to try to throw harder. You don't have to try to make your off speed nastier. You just go do what you did that got you here.
You know, the emotions are high, as you said. The heart is racing, and a dream will be realized here shortly.
Yeah, and the jog out to the mound is surreal. It's a different view than you've ever had before. You got 3 levels on the stadium. It just feels different. But when you get out on the mound, and it'll be the nicest mound that he has ever stepped foot on, it's baseball again.
I love what Scott Rowland said to you as the ball goes around the horn. Of course, third baseman, last guy to get it, give it to the pitcher. he was close enough to you in your major league debut.
A lot of people here, huh? Yes, Mr. Rowland. Welp, good luck. Loved it.
Some words of encouragement, huh?
That's it. And you just knew that you had that guy right there. You give up a rocket down the line, he'll take care of it.
That's right. That's great. Walsh was being used at times as the closer. 9 games, he was 6 for 6 in save opportunities. 11 innings, only 6 hits allowed, 1 earned run. That's how well he had been pitching at Memphis.
Well, if it weren't for the emergence in spring training of Andre Palante, who has been a big part of this bullpen, Jake Walsh very likely would have broken with the club.
And the 1-2 pitch to Carlson. Yepes at first, and Dillon fouls it back. I asked Ben Johnson about him a couple of weeks ago about Jake Walsh, and Ben is the AAA manager with Memphis, and he said, I gotta be honest, he said, it's just not that it's come easy, because we know it's not easy, but he is the kind of guy that just doesn't get very excited. He doesn't get too low, too high, very even keel. He said there's times out there he's blowing guys away and it's like he's not even sweating.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect. The don't get too high, don't get too low is something that you really want to have in the bullpen, because you talk about emotional swings out there. You can have games where you feel like you're the best pitcher in the world, and then you can walk off the mound one night and say, I don't know if I can do this again. Like, I forgot how to pitch. You got to be as even keel as possible.
Two and two. I like the at-bats tonight from Carlson.
Seems to be tracking the ball well. Doesn't look as jumpy as we've seen him, especially early in the season.
Putting together a good at-bat here. Let's see if he hits the ball hard. He's doubled tonight. Lined out to center, grounded out to third. The 2-2 pitch to Dylan Carlson. And again, fouling off a lot of pitches.
But the double that he had, what made it even more impressive is he went the other way.
Yep.
Pitch away, he drove it that way. The shift was on, wide open left side, and he took advantage of it. That's what you want to see more of.
Really going to be fascinated, and I think it's too early to tell, Brad, for guys that missed an entire minor league season in 2020, but how that has affected their growth to get to this level, as Dylan lifts a high fly ball. Going back, and there's the catch made for out number 1. But Walsh was a starter, so if you look at his numbers in 2021, only had 17 appearances between Springfield and Memphis, and only 22 innings, and then missing an entire season before that. He had dealt with some injuries and whatnot, but in talking with Ben Johnson too, he felt like for some of these guys that missed all that time, the route to the big leagues is maybe through the bullpen, because you know starting's a little bit different, but you go out there like Jake Walsh, who's got plus stuff, air it out, and you become ultra effective. We'll see.
Well, especially when you have the arm like that, like you said, when you have the electric arm, you can easily, not easily, that's a horrible word for it, but it is a faster route to end up getting there. But we've talked about this a lot in the past, is a lot of guys in the big leagues have big arms. Can you control it? Do you believe in yourself enough to throw it within the strike zone? And then what do your secondary pitches look like? Talk about the evolution we've seen this year from Ryan Helsley. Now Helsley, a lot of it because he's healthy right now. But I mean, that's next level. He always threw hard, but could he throw that breaking ball for a strike? He's doing it. He's one of the best relievers in all of baseball now.
One out, runner at first. Molina at the plate. Yanni tonight grounded into a fielder's choice, scored a run back in the second, struck out and grounded out to short. And the 1-1 is pulled foul. 2018, Walsh was at low A and then high A, 25 games, 24 starts, and then missed 19 and 20 basically were lost years for him. Only appeared in 2 games in 19 and then 20 the shutdown. The 1-2 scoots away, and now Yepez moves into scoring position for Molina.
Yeah, with that lost season too, Dan, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to quantify exactly what that meant. It's just going to be one of those weird things. I do one thing that I know we'll be able to quantify, and it stinks for all of these guys, is that your age matters a lot in this game, especially when it comes to free agency. So it might not look like it hurts, right now, but maybe it takes you an extra year to get to the big leagues. Then all of a sudden you're fortunate enough to be one of those guys that hits free agency. Maybe you're 30 instead of 29.
Yeah.
Little things like that end up costing you.
In a game that is getting younger and younger by the day, and young players are being pushed. 3-2 the count on Molina. If he can drive in Yepez, he would be tied with Kenny Boyer for 6th in Cardinals history in RBI. And a high fly ball lifted to left center. The catch is made. Yepez back to the bag at second, and there's 2 outs. Not happy.
Oh, Yachty said, I want in on this hit parade. Everybody's having fun right now. He found a pitch right there that he just ended up missing.
Cardinals with 10 hits tonight. Everybody with a base hit with the exception of Molina. Bader is lined out to center. A single to right and a run scored, and then struck out in the 5th. Fastball down and in for ball 1. The beauty of baseball, what a difference 24 hours can make. Starter for the Orioles just completely shut down the Cardinals last night. And tonight they chase Watkins 3 2/3. That pitch up, fouled back, and it's a ball and a strike.
I don't know about you. Kyle Bradish is my early favorite for Cy Young in the AL from what I saw. Jeez. He looks so good. Punched out 11.
He was the first rookie ever to go 7 or more, 4 hits or less, 11 strikeouts, no walks against the Cardinals. Breaking ball and a good one. Last rookie with 7 innings, 10 strikeouts against the Cardinals, and no walks is the late Jose Fernandez.
You talk about a guy that was must see every time he stepped on a mound.
Unhittable at home.
Yes.
And a strikeout of Bader. That'll send us to the 8th. Then a debut. Jake Walsh coming in when we come back.
Coming up after the game, we have Cardinals Live. Ricky Horton will join us as we'll take a look at Miles Michaelis and another terrific start tonight. Plus, we'll also show you the 2-out rallies for the Redbirds as we send it back to Bush to Dan and Brand. Guys?
So major league debut in our Chevy call to the pen takes us to Jake Walsh. Hard throwing right-hander. He'll turn 27 on July 20th. 9 games from Memphis. He had given up just 1 run, walked 5, struck out 16, and he was 6 for 6 in save opportunities. We were talking about it earlier, major league debut, and here we have it. Big numbers for Walsh at AAA, and certainly could be a factor for the Cardinals in this 2022 campaign. Robinson Chirinos looks at a strike. Walsh was a 16th round pick, number 484 overall by the Cardinals in 2017 out of Florida Southern. And the 0-1 pitch.
The fly ball lifted to center. Jake Walsh has his first out recorded in the major leagues.
Feels good right there. Deep breath. Get that one out of the way. And I think you hit the nail on the head here with Jake Walsh too. While he's not thinking, he's thinking one pitch at a time. Well, let's get a few outs and let's get out of here. This guy could end up being a big factor for you.
And so one out, and the batter will be Chris Owings. He retires Robinson Chirinos. Owings is 0 for 2, pair of groundouts tonight. And the first pitch, a strike at 95. Entered this season rated as the 24th overall prospect in the Cards organization by Baseball America. He was added to the 40-man in November. Good pitch.
Well,
nothing at 2.
To your earlier point, Dan, he just hadn't pitched much in the last couple of years. But they saw the stuff that he had and said, look, we got to add this guy to the 40-man. If we don't add him to our roster, another team is going to take him. They're going to get a talented arm. We need to be able to keep him. I feel like they made the right decision here.
And the 0-2 pitch. Called third strike, and Jake Walsh has his first ever strikeout in the big leagues. He'll remember that the rest of his life. They'll throw that baseball out. Keepsake, Chris Owings strikes out, and Walsh has got the first 2.
How about that? Another question he'll be asked forever. Who'd you strike out? It was Chris Owings. Curveball, called strike 3. Saw Mike Maddox right there top stepping. Give me that ball. Better have that.
There's Cedric Mullins. Walsh really opened up eyes too when he was at the Arizona Fall League, which is your top prospects in the game. Led the league with 4 saves this past offseason. And it's 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs and nobody on. Primarily a relief pitcher since the conclusion of 2019. At 25 starts in 18 and a little bit in 19. There's a strike, 2-1. Well, the Cardinals just keep finding these guys. Andre Palante, Jake Walsh. They have a young man, A-Ball the Nunez, that throws triple digits consistently and is healthy now. The 2-1 pitch. And it's 2-2.
Organization for a long time has had that eye for pitching. Been able to find those diamonds in the rough. Mentioned 16th round pick here. What was Cody Whitley? 28th round? Somewhere around
36.
36?
Yeah.
It's a nice find as well.
The 2-2. Just missed in. And a full count on Cedric Mullins. The 3-2 pitch, fouled back. We did a couple of games that Jake Walsh appeared in spring training. He caught our attention right away, along with Palante.
Just adds to a strength that this club already has. And there's going to be a lot of corresponding moves. Who knows what everything looks like, but this is another talented arm.
And the 3-2 again. Strikeout number 2 in the inning, held on to by Molina. Jake Walsh, welcome to the big leagues. Orioles go 1-2-3 with a pair of strikeouts. Jake Walsh in his major league debut. Eight to 1 in the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals with the lead, and now it's Albert Pujols. Pinch hit back in the 6th and grounded out. And the first pitch to him. Taken for a ball. That was against the lefty Allen, and now it's Lakins. his second inning of work. Orioles with a shift on the left side. The 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Albert here at home, 5 for 17. Home run, couple of runs batted in. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Nobody throwing in the St. Louis bullpen, so it could be Jake Walsh for 2 innings here tonight.
Wouldn't mind seeing that. Pretty good breaking ball he's showing off.
The 2-1. 2-2. And Albert hits it out of play. Watkins for 3 2/3, and then Fry came in. Allen, Lakins. Three and 2 the count on Albert Pujols. And the next. He draws a leadoff walk. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from BOS.
You're moving up in the world. You deserve a bank that can keep up with your changing needs. It's time to make the bold move. BOS. Bank boldly.
Brendan Donovan, a double on an 0-2 pitch that brought in 2 in the second. Walked and scored in the 4th and again in the 6th. Big night. And first pitch is a strike.
Brendan Donovan doing everything he can to continue to be in the mix, to get everyday at bats, and that's what the Cardinals are looking for. Competitive ABs. Can you be somebody that they can help us out? So far, so good for Donovan. They loved him out of camp.
Gave him a ton of opportunities, specifically seeing him play defensively all over the diamond. And the 1-1 pitch to Donovan. 2 balls and 1 strike. Macy, Kramer Robertson hit this inning. Donovan, a drive, opposite way, off the wall. Albert to third. He'll be held up there. Brendan Donovan on base 4 times tonight. 2 doubles, 2 walks, and playing solid at short.
It's a 94-mile-an-hour fastball away by Lakins. And all Donovan does is slam this thing into the gap, and this is pretty much on the corner.
103 miles per hour off the bat. Almost picked up a 2-run homer. Kramer Robertson is moved to the on-deck circle, and this is Tommy Edman. Edman, ground ball right side. That'll score Pujols off with contact. And Donovan advances to third. And it's another major league debut here tonight in a 9-1 game. So major league debut in terms of a chance to hit. Debuted last night as a pinch runner. 4th round pick, 2017 out of LSU. Kramer Robertson. And that is taken high. He's hitting .225 at Memphis, 5 doubles, 3 home runs. High on base percentage, near .400. And the 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Certainly an RBI opportunity here. The 1-1. Upstairs, 2-1. Kisner on deck. The 2-1. Robertson puts it in play. That'll score a run. And Kramer Robertson drives in his first in the big leagues, bringing in Brendan Donovan.
He got himself a souvenir for the mantle. That's a baseball that'll get thrown out. First major league run batted in for Kramer. Big smiles.
Somebody asked him, hey, what was that first at bat like for you in the big leagues? No big deal. They just called me off the bench to pinch hit for Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, he was having a rough day, so.
Well, Goldie had also driven in 3, walked, had a couple of hits, but they wanted me.
They knew they needed to see me.
So 10-1, and here is Kisner for Nolan Arenado. My assumption would be that with the day game short turnaround that Andrew would be behind the plate tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, I would assume the same thing, but with Yachty, you just never know.
And that's why I said my assumption is.
Exactly.
But the 2-0 pitch, and it's 2-1.
It has been. It's been fun for me watching Andrew Kisner, his evolution. It's not an easy job being the guy behind Yadier Molina. Now, we've seen more of a split so far this year. Offensively, I know he can hit at this level. He knows his staff really well. He's gotten so much better behind the plate. Especially, we've talked a lot about those low strikes. You got a bunch of guys that throw sinkers. Got to be able to get those low strikes, and he's doing a lot better job there. And it's work. It's him making adjustments.
And the 3-1 is hit out of play. It probably hasn't done him any favors that he hasn't played very often. And I bring that up, meaning that it may have stunted his growth a little bit offensively, but you're in the big leagues and you're learning from Yadier Molina. So a little give and take with that.
Yes, you're right, because everyday at-bats in the minor leagues are good, and catching your staff every day. But this is where you want to be, obviously, for obvious reasons. But you can learn a lot if you're paying attention, even when you're sitting behind Yachty.
So a couple of walks in the inning. That's a 2-out walk to Kisner, and it brings in Juan Yepez. 2 more hits tonight for Juan. Sits safely in his first 7 games in the big leagues. Had a home run in the second inning, fly to left. Hit a ball hard up the middle, but into the shift, and then a bloop single to right with 2 strikes. And the Budweiser play of the game is this home run. And Brad, you talked about it. Your key to the game: score early, score often. They've done that.
Cardinals did do that. 3 in the second inning, a 4-run fourth. Have added on runs in 2 more innings, and that's exactly what you want to see. And throughout this ball game, we've seen so many just good at bats and the ability to go the other way and fight off tough pitches. This is the lineup that Ollie Marmol has been talking about. We're seeing it today.
I guarantee Ollie's going to applaud his club for the 2-strike approach and then the 2-out approach of bringing in runs.
Those are backbreakers. As a team, you're out there, you're thinking, okay, well, we're good. We got 2 outs. We can breathe a little bit. Cardinals suffocating the Orioles today with 2 outs.
Cardinals with 6 doubles tonight. That's most since late July of the 2019 season against the Pirates. It ties the club record for most doubles in an interleague game. Not holding Kisner at first, and the 0-2 pitch to Juan Yepez. You're seeing not the approach of individual at bats. This is more of a team effort here tonight. Not that you're passing the buck, so to speak, but this has been a better approach.
It has. It has. It's, to me, a lot of it is that ability to let the ball travel and shoot it the other way. Maybe you're not going to drive the ball out of the ballpark. Who cares? You don't need a bunch of home runs. String together hits.
The 1-2 hammered foul. Ooh.
Now watch yourself out in the crowd. That was 110 off the bat.
So Juan Yepez, you've had Kramer Robertson a part of this. Jake Walsh, certainly Brendan Donovan. He's been on base 4 times. And the 1-2 pitch to Juan Yepez. Off the plate, 2-2.
That is all you can ask for, is that when you call these guys up, that they contribute in some form or fashion, and they've done that tonight.
Tends to bring energy too, doesn't it? Not that this is a ball club that is devoid of energy, because it's certainly not, but there's just something different when young guys are getting their opportunity. They're bouncing around.
Old foul again. This guy's been fun to watch.
He's covering everything.
Yeah. And he's worked the count full here. And a 3-2 pitch to Juan Yepez. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. We'll see his second inning from Jake Walsh here in his major league debut. 10-1 Cardinals. Baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. And by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. 10-1 our score. Ball game that has been dominated by St. Louis. Some changes for the Cardinals. Molina is at first, Kisner behind the plate, Kramer Robertson staying in the game at short, and Donovan moving from short to third. And the second inning for Jake Walsh. 5th rookie to make his debut this season with the Cardinals. Palante, Donovan, Yepez, Kramer Robertson, and Jake Walsh. Curveball taken high. Franchise started playing in 1892, and this is player number 2050 in Cardinals history.
Seems like a low number, does it not?
Absolutely. Genesis Cabrera made a start against the Phillies, and he was player number 2000 in Cardinals history. But yeah, since 1892, and only barely above 2,000 players to wear the birds on the bat.
Well, just to your earlier point, I don't care if you spend one day in the big leagues or you spend 10 or more years, you're in a special brotherhood as soon as you get here.
Walsh is gone. 2 innings, twice for Memphis this year. April 13th, most recently April 23rd. Mancini drills it up the middle, and now he's given up his first base hit. Struck out 2 in the 8th inning, and Mancini a base hit to center. He's a good player. 1 for 4 tonight.
Not a bad guy to give your first hit up to. It just catches too much of the plate. 95 down the middle.
37, Anthony Bemboom.
Anthony Bemboom, and he is the backup catcher for the Orioles. Pinch hitting for Santander. And there's strike 1. A lot of times managers with a day game the next day in games like this, if their catcher is going to play, they're going to try to get him a plate appearance just to get in a game. The backup.
Just ease into the action a little bit.
And the 0-1 pitch. Cardinals with a shift on the right side. Taken high, and it's 1-1.
You like the idea of Walsh going 2 innings,
or would you rather see just that first appearance, 1 inning, it's clean, and you move on?
Well, I wonder if it changes with Hicks going tomorrow. You're trying to save as many arms
I think it does.
in your bullpen. I
Yeah.
think that ends up being it. With a bullpen day yesterday, I think in a perfect world, you get him out of there after the 1 scoreless, especially as dominant as it was. But the job today is different, and that's the thing. You got to be able to do different things, go a little bit deeper into ball games. I think Walsh is going to be just fine in this one. But I do think that the other factors of the bullpen day and Hicks tomorrow might have had something to do with it.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And he has his 3rd strikeout. Bob Tewksbury, by the way, in 1992 started his season, and again that knuckle curve of Walsh with 10 starts, 2 or fewer runs in each of those first 10 starts. And Michaelis after tonight now has 7, so it's the 2nd longest streak to begin a season like that by a St. Louis starter. Bob Tewksbury, the last to do it, 1992. Bob is a great artist.
He's got a lot of skills
and has worked with various teams, especially in baseball, but even in other professions on the mental side of sports.
Bob Tewksbury's got a book, and it's a good one. It's called 90% Mental.
And the 0-1 in the air, deep right center, and the catch will be made by Carlson.
That is something in the game of baseball, talking about the mental side of it. You can have all the physical gifts in the world, but if you can't lock it in upstairs, you're going to find yourself into some trouble. I always tell kids, think about that too. Think about what you're thinking about.
Second baseman, Ruben Odor.
Say that again?
Yeah, think about what you're thinking about.
I like that.
And always think ahead. What do you think about that?
I'm thinking right now about
That's what I'm saying.
What you're saying.
Got the wheels turning.
You did. You had me thinking.
Think about what you're thinking about.
Here's Odor. And the first pitch taken for a ball. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded out to second. Fly to right. Fly to center. And a ground ball. This should do it. Across the diamond it goes. No. It's thrown away, and the ball game extended following the error. Kramer Robertson trying to get that to Yachty. Well, he threw a seed over there.
I think he looked up and saw how quickly he was getting up the line. I think he had the flip available at second.
Jorge Mateo with runners at second and third. Again, we are on the air tomorrow at 11:30. Crowd tonight, 34,533. 34533, and they're on their feet. Curveball taken high. And if you're Ollie, you're saying, boy, I just want that out. I want the win, but I want Walsh to be done.
Yes, get it over with.
This will be pitch number 27 from Jake Walsh in his major league debut. And that's it. You don't want to get anybody else up. You want the game to end.
And it's been a solid performance here from Jake Walsh. All the youngsters stepping up in this ball game today.
And the 2-0 pitch from Walsh to Mateo.
Hit out of play, and it's 2-1. Cardinals picked up 3 runs in the second, 4 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth, 2 more in the eighth. They have out hit the Orioles 11-5, and they lead it 10-1. The 2-1 pitch popped up. Kisner will give it a look, and that is out of play. So the Orioles down to their final strike and a count of 2-2.
We've seen the punch outs from Walsh with the curveball. Does he finish Mateo off with that right here?
The 2-2. And the count runs full. We hope to visit with Brendan Donovan as our star of the game. First Cardinals rookie with 2 doubles, 2 walks in a game since 1991. That was Ray Langford. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled back. Jake Woodford throwing very lightly in the St. Louis bullpen.
Yeah, let's not get there. Want to be able to get this over with, have Woodford fresh for tomorrow if you need him.
And a 3-2 pitch. Out of play. And the 3-2 pitch again to Mateo. Pitch number 33 from Walsh. Extends the ball game.
Can somebody tell Mateo the plan? We'd like Walsh to finish him off, not have to use anybody else in the bullpen.
I mean, this is where you have to be careful too. If you're Ollie, you don't want to stretch him out too much here. He's only had 2 games that he's gone 2 innings. And the 3-2 pitch by Walsh. He got him. Ends it with a strikeout in his big league debut. And the Cardinals win it by the final of 10-1.
That was a much-needed victory, and a lot of different individuals stepped up. Congratulations to the Young Bucks. Jake Walsh put an exclamation point on his debut with the punch-out of Mateo. Kramer Robertson got his first big league RBI. Yepes with the big day. Donovan with the big day. That's what that offense needed.
So the Cardinals win it 10-1. They have split the first 2 of this series in day baseball tomorrow. Stay with us. The postgame show comes your way next.